Hi, and thanks for joining me for another Collage Atlas dev diary. Hello again to everyone who's actually come back, managed to stick with me through the last two, because a bit wonky, but we're getting better. And a special hello as well to anyone who's joining me for the first time. I've actually written down a list of what I need to cover because there's an awful lot. It's been a while. I guess first and foremost, for people who don't know who I am, I'm John Evelyn. I'm the developer behind the Collage Atlas, currently actually handling everything on my own, which is probably why I look so tired. What is the Collage Atlas? I guess very briefly, obviously some of you already know this, but for those that don't, in brief, it's a first-person adventure game that's entirely hand-drawn, pen and ink drawings, so everything is drawn on paper first. The entire world is built up out of drawings, which was a really silly idea, but we've got to stick with it now. If you want to know more about the art style of the game and what's kind of gone into that, there's a dev log that goes into detail about that, which I'll link down below. And if you want to know more about things like the themes and the inspirations behind the game and more about I guess the actual kind of concept, so to speak, there's another video which I will also link, which talks about that in depth. Today, what I want to talk about is a few things, actually. In fact, quite a lot of things. There's the matter of a demo, which I managed to put together for exhibitions, and that's actually already had an outing at EGX. That was back in September. I'll talk a little bit more about art stuff because I produced a ton of new assets, working on some new areas in the game. So I'll show you some footage of that. And last but not least, in fact, actually, it's meant to be the main thrust of this video. I want to talk about the music because I haven't talked a great deal about the music just yet. And for me, with this project, music is just as important as the art, just as important as the message. In fact, they all very much kind of support each other. So I want to talk about the methods and approaches that I'm using the music. I'm also going to talk about some of the music that inspired me over the years, because I've been recording music for a very, very long time now. And I'm also going to share a playlist of stuff that has definitely influenced the sound and the style of the game. If you want to jump to a certain part of the video, I'm going to link the different sections down below, because some bits might interest you, some bits might not. One of the main focuses over the last few months of development has actually been putting together a playable demo, something that I could take out to shows and exhibitions and that kind of thing, and actually finally give people an idea of what on earth this game actually is. Because I've been working on these kind of disparate elements, different bits of tech, different bits of writing, different bits of music for so long. So actually, even just from a kind of personal motivational standpoint, it's really nice to finally pull something together and point at it and go well, that's what it is. That's kind of what the Collage Atlas is actually all about. So the first outing that I had was EGX in Birmingham in the UK, and that was back in September. It was just an incredible experience, actually. It was really relieving to find that people seem to kind of get what I'm doing. Not that what I'm doing is particularly out there or particularly weird or anything, but obviously, you spend so much time working on your own, you start to lose all perspective, frankly. So it was good. It was good. The feedback was good. So I want to show you some footage from that demo now. But actually, while I'm here, I just want to say very quickly, specifically with regards to EGX, thank you so much to everybody that did come along and play. Thank you to everybody who actually stopped and had a chat with me about it. And thank you for bearing with me, because I talk just as much in person as I do in these videos. So yeah. Anyway, here's some footage of the game. So as well as everything else over the last few months, I've been producing a whole load of new artwork and producing a lot of new areas for the game. So I thought, what better way to show that off than just in a montage rather than rambling on. So here's a little video short of the various bits and pieces I've been creating. And over the top, you can hear some music, which also I've recorded for the game as well. So yeah, hope you like it. Okay, so in a previous video, I talked a lot about the themes of the game, what I'm really trying to get across to players with both the game design, with the kind of world design, and actually also with the audio. So I want to go into a little bit more detail about the music now, because for me, as I've said previously, the music and sound design is absolutely just as important to me as the art direction, as the writing is with this game. So one of the aspects of the music is that it changes and shifts depending on the player's place within the world, what they're interacting with, what they're currently gazing at, what their focus is. This is all meant to be hinting at that the sense of reassurance, which I think I talked about before. So I've created pieces of music. In some instances, there'll be, for example, maybe a 30-second long loop, and that loop will have between 20 and 30 different audio tracks, right? And they can kind of come in and out as they want, and it changes to kind of the shape of that track. And each of those individual elements will be associated with an audio emitter within the game world, within the kind of 3D space. So each one of the audio emitters has a limited area of effect. So if you're too far away, you can't hear that piece of music. As you get closer, it gets louder, and so on and so forth. And naturally, as you can imagine, if you kind of picture like a Venn diagram, there's kind of overlapping kind of these circles, right? That's how the soundtrack works within the game world. When you stand in a certain place, you're going to hear elements 1, 2, and 3 at the same time, for example. If you stand elsewhere, you might hear 2, 3, and 4 at the same time. Whereas if you find a particular vantage point, you might hear aspects of the entire track all at the same time. On the one hand, this was about, again, like pushing at that sense of agency, pushing at the sense that the player matters and that their presence in the world in and of itself really matters. But one of the other things is actually, I just wanted to share that the aspect of making music that is so exciting to me, which is I get to write little guitar pieces or whatever, and I listen to them on a loop over and over and over again while I kind of jam around on top and try and work out additional parts that will go with it, that will like complement it. And when you finally stumble across something that just works, locks in and it sounds just right, it's really, really exciting, even if the piece of music actually, frankly, wouldn't really interest anyone else. It's that moment of discovery which is the most important aspect for me, and I wanted to share that with other people. I know some people, for example, who don't make music or don't write music will never experience that very particular joy, of hearing ideas kind of merging together in a way that's unique to them. So there's an element of music performance in the game to a degree, and I hope that comes across in the final game. Okay, so that's enough slightly, abstract discussion about how the music works within the game. So I'm now just going to show you a quick video of it in action, and hopefully this will kind of get across the ideas a little bit better. Okay, so hopefully having seen that video now, all my rambling is starting to make a little bit more sense. And I just want to kind of wrap up this bit about music. As someone who basically is entirely powered by music, I have it playing all day, every day. I've had to stop it, unfortunately, so I can record this video. But otherwise, there would be music playing endlessly in my flat. I wanted to share a playlist with you. Some of the music that is most readily identifiable to me as being really influential. I mean, obviously, we can't always pick up on what's influenced us and what hasn't, but there are some things which, you know, there are those kind of goosebumps tracks, aren't there, that you're just like, that's going to stay with me for a really long time. So I've gathered together a whole bunch of tracks. It's quite a lengthy playlist, actually, but it touches on a number of different kind of styles and different kind of musical themes that have really, I guess, shaped my own sound as a musician over the silly number of years that I've been recording stuff. And you might hear little kind of elements of that in the DNA of the Collage Atlas soundtrack as well. So enjoy. Okay, so that was quite a rambling video. So if you're currently watching this, I'm absolutely amazed. Thank you for sticking with it. As per usual, it was longer than I anticipated, and yeah, as per usual, I talked a lot more than I thought I would do. So I guess that's par for the course now. Going to be a little bit of a break over Christmas, I think. Because that's actually in like 10 days or so as I'm recording this. So I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. I can't wait to share more of the game with you in the new year. And I really hope that the next Dev Diary won't be quite as far off. Anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And if you're an indie dev as well, get some sleep.